Right now, it is possible that about 1 in 3 adults is carrying excess fat in the liver without even knowing it, and this becomes more common with age, especially in people with high blood sugar, high cholesterol, or a waistline that keeps getting larger over time. What makes this especially concerning is that liver fat does not just sit there quietly. It can gradually leave you feeling heavier every morning, make your stomach feel fuller after dinner, cause your blood sugar to rise and fall unpredictably, and slowly drain your energy in ways many people still dismiss as just getting older. But here is what worries me most. Most older adults do not realize their liver is under too much strain until their lab results start moving in the wrong direction. And when that happens, many people rush toward expensive detox teas, online remedies that spread quickly, or promises that sound very appealing but do not truly address the root of the problem. Because your liver does not need another miracle. It needs the right kind of support at the right time, done consistently. In this video, I am going to show you 6 spices and evening recipes that may support your liver, help stabilize blood sugar overnight, and help your body move into a better state of recovery while you sleep. And the one at the very end of today's list is the one I believe many people over 60 will be most interested in trying, not because it is expensive, but because it is simple, easy to make, and especially well suited for a body that needs to feel lighter, calmer, and stronger, little by little. If you have been waking up lately with a heavy feeling in your stomach, craving sweets in the evening, or feeling like your body no longer recovers the way it used to, stay with me until the end. Because sometimes the thing that creates the clearest change is not found in a new pill, but right in your own kitchen. Before we talk about which spice may be the most helpful, you need to understand something very important. Fatty liver rarely develops simply because you eat too much fat. In adults over 60, the problem usually goes deeper than that. As we age, the body begins to process sugar and fat more slowly. Muscle mass gradually declines. Physical activity tends to decrease. Sleep is often not as deep as it used to be. And when all of those things happen at the same time, the liver is one of the first places to feel the impact. What I see very often in older adults is this pattern. They do not eat that much, yet their stomach still looks larger. They still wake up tired. They lose energy easily in the afternoon, and by evening they start craving something sweet. That is not necessarily because you lack willpower. It may be that your body is slipping into mild insulin resistance, meaning sugar is no longer handled as smoothly as it used to be. Insulin has to rise more often, and when insulin stays elevated over time, the liver becomes more likely to hold on to more fat. In other words, your liver is not just processing food, it is also dealing with aging, poor sleep, low physical activity, and dinners that are too heavy. So if you want your liver to feel lighter, you cannot think only in terms of detox. You need to help your body become more stable at the root level. Less inflammation, less blood sugar fluctuation, deeper sleep, and a lighter burden on the liver at night. And once you understand why the liver becomes more prone to storing fat after age 60, the next question is, where should you begin supporting your body in the simplest way possible? I am not going to start with the strongest formula. I want to begin with a spice that is gentler, quieter, but still very much worth mentioning. That is the spice ranked number 6 on today's list, cloves. Many people have never thought of cloves when talking about fatty liver. They usually think of detox teas, apple cider vinegar, or whatever is being heavily promoted online. But cloves offer a different kind of strength. They do not make exaggerated promises, yet they provide a surprisingly interesting layer of support for a body that is feeling worn down by inflammation and oxidative stress. Cloves contain a number of plant compounds, with eugenol being one of the most notable. This is an active compound known for its antioxidant properties. And that matters more than most people realize, because when fat begins to build up in the liver, what silently increases is not just your waist size or that heavy feeling after meals, but also oxidative stress inside the liver cells. You cannot see it. You do not feel it clearly right away, but over time it makes the liver work less efficiently. Simply put, if your liver is straining every day to handle sugar, fat, medications, poor sleep, and processed foods, cloves are not a magic wand, but they can play the role of a small buffer, helping the metabolic environment feel a little less stressed. I placed cloves at number 6 because they are a good fit for people who want to start gently. All you need is 1 to 2 whole cloves steeped in warm water or simmered very lightly with an herbal tea in the evening. The aroma is warm, deep, and slightly spicy, and for many older adults, that sense of comfort alone can be enough to ease the habit of late-night snacking. But I want to be direct. Do not expect cloves alone to noticeably reduce liver fat. Their real role is to support antioxidant balance, gently warm digestion, and help you begin a better evening routine for your liver. Number 5. Fennel seeds and ginger. Many people over 60 are not just tired because of liver fat. They are also tired of feeling like their stomach has never fully finished digesting the last meal. Dinner leaves them feeling tight and bloated. Lying down feels uncomfortable. They wake up with a flat taste in the mouth, a heavy body, and a stomach that still feels unsettled. And in that state, the liver is not truly getting any real rest either. That is why I included fennel seeds and ginger on this list. This is not the strongest formula for acting directly on liver fat, but it is very useful on another level. It helps the digestive system feel less sluggish, so the body can move into sleep in a lighter, calmer state. Ginger has long been used to support digestion, warm the stomach, and ease nausea and sluggish digestion. Fennel seeds are often mentioned for their ability to soothe bloating and excess gas. When used together, the effect can be quite noticeable. Dinner seems to move through more easily. The stomach feels less tight, and that heavy feeling before bed begins to ease. And here is what matters. When you go to sleep with an overloaded stomach, your liver is also working inside an overloaded body. It is not just processing nutrients, it is also dealing with mild inflammation, blood sugar swings, and poorer sleep quality because the digestive system is still struggling. So sometimes the first step in supporting the liver is not to go after the liver directly, but to help the rest of the body feel less burdened first. You can use this very simply. Steep a few thin slices of ginger briefly in hot water, then add fennel seeds and let it rest for a few minutes. Drinking it about 1.5 to 2 hours before bed makes more sense than having it right before you lie down. But there is something important I want to make clear here. Do not confuse easier digestion with stronger liver fat reduction. This formula is excellent for people who feel bloated, sluggish, or heavy after dinner. But if your goal is to have a more noticeable effect on overnight blood sugar or inflammation in the liver, the higher-ranked options on this list will be stronger. Also, ginger is not ideal for everyone. If it is brewed too strong or taken too close to bedtime, it can make some people feel overheated, irritated in the stomach, or even more prone to acid reflux. Especially in older adults with sensitive digestion, using a small amount at the right time is always better than using too much. Number 4. Nutmeg. Nutmeg is one of those spices that is often underestimated. Many people think of it only as a pleasant aroma in baked goods or cold weather drinks. But for older adults, it is actually a detail worth paying attention to. Not because it burns liver fat, the way exaggerated marketing claims might suggest, but because it affects something far more important, the body's state of relaxation before sleep. After age 60, the issue is not just what you eat. The issue is also whether your body still knows how to rest deeply. Some people do not eat much, yet they still crave snacks every evening. Some feel heavy in the stomach the moment they lie down. Some sleep for a few hours, then wake up and feel exhausted the next morning as if they never truly rested. And on nights like that, the liver never really gets the quiet window it needs to do its work. Nutmeg does not solve everything, but it sends a very particular signal to the body. It is time to slow down. Just a very small amount used in a warm drink in the evening can make the entire experience before bed feel gentler. Its aroma is warm, soft, and carries a strong sense of closing out the day. For older adults, sometimes simply feeling less restless, less tempted to eat late, and able to drift into sleep more peacefully can already be a meaningful change. What I like about nutmeg is that it helps you see the liver in a more realistic way. The liver is not a machine that only needs to be cleansed. It is part of a much bigger system. If your mind is still tense, if your stomach still feels heavy, if your sleep is still broken, then your liver is still working inside a body that has not truly settled down. You can use it very simply. Add a small pinch of nutmeg to warm almond milk, unsweetened coconut milk, or chamomile tea about 30 to 45 minutes before bed. You do not need much. In fact, with this spice, less is the right approach. And this is the part I need to stress. Never overuse nutmeg. Using more does not make it work better. It can make you feel uncomfortable, dizzy, or nauseated. Anyone taking sleeping pills, sedatives, or living with more complex medical conditions should be especially cautious. Number 3. Fenugreek, cinnamon, and black pepper. If you want to understand why some people do not eat that much, yet their midsection still gets thicker, their liver fat still increases, and their energy keeps slowly slipping away, then look at insulin. When insulin stays elevated too often, the body tends to hold on to more fat, especially around the waist and in the liver. This is one of the most important links in older adults, especially when physical activity decreases, sleep gets worse, and the habit of eating slightly sweet or overly heavy dinners has remained unchanged for years. Fenugreek is a seed worth paying close attention to because it contains soluble fiber, especially galactomannan. This type of fiber may help slow the rate at which sugar is absorbed after a meal. Put simply, it helps keep the body from getting hit with sugar too quickly. For people who often feel uneasy, hungry, or drawn towards something sweet in the evening, that is a mechanism worth noticing. Alongside fenugreek is cinnamon. Cinnamon is often mentioned in research related to supporting blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity to a modest degree. I do not see cinnamon as a miracle, but I do see it as a smart spice, especially when it is used in the right setting. In the evening, in a warm, gentle formula that is easy to stick with. It shifts the conversation away from simply eat less and toward helping the body handle energy more smoothly. Then there is black pepper, which acts here like a small catalyst. It is not the main star, but it gives the formula more depth, more strength, and in many nutrition blends, black pepper is often used to help the body make better use of certain plant compounds. What I like about this formula is that it fits people who tell me, "I'm fine during the day, but once evening comes, I have a very hard time controlling my cravings." If that sounds like you, then this may be the moment to look at the problem differently. Maybe you are not lacking discipline at all. Maybe your body is simply signaling that it no longer handles sugar as smoothly as it used to. You can prepare this formula by briefly soaking the fenugreek, then gently simmering it with a little cinnamon and adding a pinch of black pepper. Drinking it about 45 minutes to 1 hour before bed in a moderate amount makes more sense than making it too strong. But I also want to keep this very clear. This is not a formula for everyone. Fenugreek has a fairly strong, slightly bitter taste, and not everyone enjoys it. Some people with sensitive digestion may need to start with a very small amount. And if you are taking medication related to blood sugar, you should be especially careful not to overdo it on your own. Number 2, turmeric and black pepper. I know turmeric is not something new. It is not mysterious. It does not spark curiosity the way some unusual ingredient from somewhere else might. But that is exactly its advantage, because when I talk about the health of adults over 60, I am not looking for something sensational. I am looking for something that makes sense, has a foundation behind it, and can actually be maintained. The most important thing about turmeric is curcumin, the active compound that has been studied quite extensively in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. An umbrella meta-analysis published in 2024, which combined 11 meta-analyses covering 99 randomized trials with 5,546 participants, found that curcumin or turmeric was associated with improvements in liver enzymes such as AST and ALT, while also improving HOMAIR, BMI, and waist circumference in patients with NAFLD. A 2025 systematic review and meta-analysis of 15 randomized trials involving 905 participants also found that curcumin reduced ALT by about 4.10 units and AST by about 3.27 units compared with the control group. Another 2024 meta-analysis of 21 randomized controlled trials involving 1,191 participants showed that curcumin was associated with improvements in certain blood sugar markers, blood lipids, body weight, and BMI in people with NAFLD. Simply put, if your liver is carrying the burden of ongoing low-grade inflammation, insulin resistance, and fat building up around the waist, turmeric is one of the few spices on this list with a stronger body of supporting data than most of the others. Not because it is a miracle, but because it speaks directly to two things. Fatty liver often needs most, less inflammation, and better metabolic support. Black pepper is not here just for decoration. It makes the formula more practical. In many traditional remedies and supplement formulas, black pepper is included because piperine may help support the absorption of certain active compounds from turmeric. That said, the evidence on curcumin plus piperine is not always clearly superior across every marker, so I see black pepper as a reasonable support tool rather than some magical factor. You can use this formula very simply. Mix turmeric into warm water or unsweetened plant milk. Add a small pinch of black pepper and drink it in the evening or early evening. The feeling it creates is usually not a dramatic wow right away. It is subtler than that. The body feels less heavy. Mornings feel a little clearer. And when it is paired with a smarter dinner, it starts to matter. But I also need to be very clear. Turmeric does not replace medication. It does not make up for poor sleep. And it does not erase the effects of eating dinner too late. Anyone with gallbladder problems, anyone taking blood thinners, or anyone with a sensitive stomach should be more cautious. Number 1. Cinnamon, turmeric, and nutmeg. If you have noticed, from the very beginning, we have not been talking only about the liver. We have also been talking about that heavy feeling in the stomach after dinner, about sweet cravings at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, about waking up in the middle of the night and then getting up the next morning, feeling as if you never truly recovered. That is because the liver does not work in isolation. It reflects the way your body handles sugar, the level of low-grade inflammation in your system, and the quality of your sleep each night. And that is exactly what makes the combination of cinnamon, turmeric, and nutmeg stand out from the rest. Cinnamon supports the blood sugar side of the story. Turmeric speaks to inflammation and metabolic burden. Nutmeg helps the body slow down and relax more before bed. Each one has value on its own. But when they are brought together in one warm drink at the end of the day, they create a ritual that fits the body especially well after age 60, not too strong, not too complicated, but aimed at exactly the right places. What I like about this formula is that it does not force the body to do more. It helps the body settle down so it can recover better. For many older adults, the first thing that changes is not body weight. It is not waist size. It is the feeling that the evening becomes calmer. The urge to go looking for something sweet after dinner starts to fade. The stomach feels less tight when it is time to lie down. The mind feels less restless. And the next morning, the body feels a little less foggy. Those are small changes, but they are very real. The way to use it is also simple. All you need is a cup of warm, unsweetened almond milk or coconut milk, along with a moderate amount of cinnamon, turmeric, and a small pinch of nutmeg. Drink it about 30 to 45 minutes before bed. It does not need to be strong. It does not need to be a lot. The most important thing is consistency. Because when it comes to the liver, small rituals repeated every night often mean much more than trying hard for a few days and then giving up. But I still want to keep this realistic. This is not a formula that erases liver fat overnight. It does not replace medication. It cannot make up for eating dinner too late, sleeping too little, or hardly moving at all. Its proper role is to help create a smarter evening for the liver. Steadier blood sugar, less inflammation being triggered, and sleep that is more likely to deepen. And after going through all 6 options, there is one very important thing you need to know. Quite a few people try these formulas and then say, "I don't notice anything at all." Not because the spices are useless, but because they make very common mistakes that cancel out almost all of their effort from the beginning. So before you expect an evening spice drink to make a real difference, there are 2 very important things that need to be made clear. First, the mistakes that keep you from seeing results no matter how long you try. Second, the realistic changes you can expect if you do it correctly and stay with it long enough. This is the part many people skip, but it is exactly what determines whether you end up disappointed after a few days or truly begin to feel your body changing. The first mistake is using the right thing in the wrong setting. Many people prepare turmeric, cinnamon, or nutmeg very consistently, but they still eat too much at night, eat too late, and then lie down right afterward. When the stomach is still full, blood sugar is still rising and falling, and the body has not yet had a chance to settle, the liver is still being forced to work under overload. The second mistake is treating spices like a form of compensation. In other words, eating sweets during the day, moving very little, staying up late at night, and then hoping one healthy drink will fix everything. That does not happen. Spices only become meaningful when they go along with an evening that has less sugar, feels lighter in the stomach, and supports better sleep. The third mistake is using pre-mixed products or formulas that are too strong. Many ready-made powders contain added sugar, flavorings, and sweeteners, and in the end, the thing you are drinking to help your liver becomes a new burden on it. Some people also think more is always better, so they make the drink too strong or have it too close to bedtime, which can leave the stomach feeling overheated, irritated, or prone to reflux. And the final mistake is quitting too soon. The liver did not become burdened in 3 days, so it is not going to feel lighter in just 3 nights. In a body over 60, the thing that usually creates real change is rhythm. Less, but more consistent. Slower, but more sustainable. Now we come to the most important part of all. What should you actually expect? Not a miracle, not a flat stomach overnight. The first changes are usually very small, but very noticeable. In the first 7 to 14 days, many people notice changes first in the evening and in the morning. Fewer cravings for sweets at night. A more comfortable stomach at bedtime. Waking up with less dryness in the mouth, less heaviness in the body, and a clearer head. These are small signals, but they are often the first signs that the body is responding in a positive way. After 3 to 4 weeks, if you stay consistent and also make dinner a little smarter, you may begin to notice more visible changes. Clothes feeling less tight around the midsection, more stable energy in the afternoon, and less of that drained feeling after meals. Some people also find that their sleep becomes more continuous, with fewer wake-ups during the night. And if you combine things well over 4 to 8 weeks, that is when more meaningful changes may start to appear. A slightly smaller waistline, body weight feeling less stubborn, and for some people, even lab markers beginning to look better. But the key here is still realism. Do not look for something dramatic. Look for the signs that last, because when the liver begins to improve, the body usually does not shout to tell you. It quietly does something much more beautiful than that. Every morning, you feel just a little lighter than before. And that is exactly the kind of change worth keeping for the long run. So, if there is one thing I truly want you to remember after this video, it is this. Your liver does not need beautiful promises. It needs the right habits, practiced long enough for the body to have a chance to repair itself. After age 60, what creates real change is rarely an extreme solution. More often, it is smaller but smarter changes. A lighter dinner, less sugar, deeper sleep, and a simple formula you can maintain night after night. If you want to start in a truly practical way, try a very simple 14-day plan. Each evening, about 30 to 45 minutes before bed, use the formula of cinnamon, turmeric, and a small pinch of nutmeg, while also cutting back on sweets after dinner and avoiding lying down right after drinking it. That is it. Then, track 4 things: whether your stomach feels lighter the next morning, whether your evening cravings decrease, whether your sleep becomes deeper, and whether your morning energy improves. Do not go looking for a miracle in 2 or 3 days. Give your body a fair chance. And if you are starting tonight, leave a comment below that says Day 1. Then, if you come back after 7 or 14 days, I would really like to know what changed first for you, your sleep, your waistline, or that lighter feeling in the morning. If this video was helpful, please hit like and subscribe to the channel so I can keep sharing simple, safe, and more practical nutrition strategies for adults 60 and older. Who knows, the next video might be exactly what your body needs to hear right now.